spanning the globe to bring you the constant variety of sports, the thrill of victory, and the agony of defeat, the human drama of athletic competition. Nah, not really. Just a lot of ranting, just a lot of raving here on Shots from the Hip.
Welcome to Shots from the Hip podcast. Brought to you by Royal Retros on the Shotgun Sports Network. Here are your hosts, Jason Bizik and Oz Davis.
Hey, hipsters watching on the Shotgun Sports Network YouTube channel or listening on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. And surprise, tonight, we're also live on TikTok. Please hit the like and subscribe buttons and hit the notification bell to be notified when we post this show or any other videos. We do have other videos on the channel. We got sports history. We got sports movie reviews. We have all kinds of stuff. Head on over to Shotgun Sports Network YouTube channel to see all of that. Welcome to episode 10, baby. Man, it seems like just 2.5 months ago we started this thing, doesn't it, Oz?
Yeah, or 75 days. Yeah, well, I don't know. 10. Great. I guess that's a bit of a benchmark.
It's a
I see a
benchmark.
lot of podcasts out there that quit after 2, 3, 4 episodes. 10 at least is something. It shows we're at least somewhat devoted.
Yeah, and we have a crap ton of stuff to talk about. Where do you want to begin? NFL, MLB, NBA, rugby, NHL? Where do you want to go?
Okay.
What's the biggest news?
It's funny because here we have the awesome agenda from the, huge production meeting. And it's funny because on the top of this agenda, we have NFL news. Here we've got the World Baseball Classic going on. We've got, other championship tournaments going on. But let's talk about the NFL.
Well, don't get me wrong. The only reason I have NFL news at the top is because I'm too lazy to cut it and edit and move it to the,
Copy paste. Yep. Oh, yeah.
I mean, to me, the big news tonight, obviously, is the World Baseball Classic semifinals tonight.
All right.
So we can go there first if you want.
All right. I like how
I even watched some of it.
Some of it. This game tonight was a bummer. I'm gonna have to watch the whole thing later because I got up stupid early this morning, like obscenely early, Central European time. I turn on my streaming and it's like, and Venezuela advances to the finals. Literally, I missed.
Spoiler alert.
Everything. Yeah, that's all I got was spoiler. So I'll go back and watch the whole thing later because this, again, when we have gotten to nut crunching time and we have gotten to the tournament, these games have been nail biters. Mm-hmm. I mean, I didn't even have a pony in the race when you had Venezuela, Japan in the quarters. I mean, but I was on the edge of my seat. And this game yesterday, 2-1, Team USA 2-1 over Dominican Republic. That was literally the lowest scoring game in this tournament. The tournament opened with Australia 3, Taiwan 0. And since then, almost everything has gone, double figures. If it's not Australia playing, most every game has been like 8-6. Let's see, I've got a 5-4. I've got a 6-2, 11-3. I mean, these games are going for a lot of runs until this final, which shows that they're really knuckling under at this point. Last week, the USA almost got embarrassed. In fact, they were embarrassed. Our manager was convinced that we were through to the quarter before that final game, and national embarrassment. So, in any case, Team USA goes down 8-0, 8-0 in the third to what is essentially the B team, USA B team, Team
Yeah.
Italy. Literally none of those guys are born in America. Now, okay, I understand the whole grandfather clause, okay, but I feel like this is a little bit against the spirit of the game, okay? This thing really started coming up in the 90s, right? When these former communist countries in Central Europe and Eastern Europe started opening the markets, right? They started opening the borders, basically. And so all of those kids, and in some cases grandkids of the refugees, were like allowed citizenship in new countries like Lithuania or Ukraine, right? Like if your family had left during the 50s, 60s, 70s, whatever, you could come back, right, as a descendant, okay? This is the same rule that they're using for the Italian team, but I don't know. It's not like these guys were speaking Italian at home growing up.
Oh,
Yeah.
come on. They were probably eating pizza and everything.
Right. One of the greatest products of American culture. Italian food. Pizza.
Talking like this.
Oh God. So, but in any case, the Italy story was nice. I remember starting off talking about the classic on this show and saying that it's basically down to, X number of teams. So it was nice to see. It was nice to see Italy sneak through. That's something new. It's nice that Venezuela is in the finals. This is the first time they've ever reached the finals. This is really their best team. Let's see, talking about the quarterfinals and the semifinals, I did feel bad for Korea.
I thought for a second there you were going to say Canada.
Well, we can talk about that in a minute. But we were I felt a little bit bad for Korea. I mean, they were on the edge of national shame there after losing to Australia. They made it up in the end. Oh no, they lost to Taiwan. All right. Yeah, they were on the edge of national shame with 2 losses. Losing to Australia, ended up winning that game. And then they play the Dominican Republic and get smoked 10-10. I mean, they were the youngest team in this tournament. They had completely revamped from the last WBC team. So, you can understand why, but again, this is a team that habitually used to finish in the Final Four in this tournament. So they're feeling the pain in Korea. I feel bad for them. As far as Canada, there was a weird thing. There was a weird internet phenomenon happening around this USA-Canada game because some folks had gotten the idea that the WBC reseeds, right? The brackets. And so a lot of people were counting on Japan versus USA in the quarterfinals. And so, there were lots of conspiracy theories about how WBC had changed the format or whatever. And maybe they did. But after last year, I mean, it's not like they just decided at the last minute to switch this over. And besides, this tournament is now in America, okay? If the first 2 teams are playing on Tuesday night or whatever, the next game is on Friday for those teams. They're not going to give anybody an extra day, right? The team is playing early in the week, Canada and the USA. Of course they're going to play in the quarterfinals. Of course they are. It's just time zone thing. It's just broadcast thing, But I don't know. Should I feel bad for Team Canada? I mean, USA played a great game. And they did. They beat them,
They did.
Canada, I shouldn't say Canada, should say happy to be here. But,
now,
I mean, just USA played a better game.
Now, don't get me wrong. I'm no baseball fan, but I had to look at Team Canada's roster. And honestly, I didn't recognize a single name on the roster. Like, I know some baseball names. I didn't recognize a single name on the roster. So I was like, okay, not sure if any of these guys are MLB players or not.
Oh, it's a proper team. It's a proper team. There's some guys, I think, that are playing college ball right now.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it's a proper team. I mean, they won the group. They won the group. You know, they beat Cuba. You know, I mean, like, that's a quality team. They had some quality wins there. But and after Venezuela took out Japan, wow, that was a great game.
That was a stunner.
Yeah. Well, yes and no. I mean, look, Venezuela again. They were going in with a team of 26 of 27, major league players. This was their best team ever, as opposed to South Korea. This was their best team ever in the tournament. I mean, they played in all 6 tournaments, right? So this is a perpetual contender. But it was nice to see them break through. It wasn't a huge upset. They were the underdog in that game, but not like Italy was the underdog against Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico, wow. There's some national shame right there.
The Venezuela game, I actually looked the day of the game. Venezuela were huge underdogs in that game.
Huge underdogs. Okay.
And I almost bet on them. Then I was like, nah, I won't. If I would have, I would have won big.
Yeah, sometimes the bets you don't make are the worst bets. Because
always,
even at the beginning of this tournament, you had to look at Venezuela and go, Jesus, if you like an underdog, this is your pick.
Yeah.
Now, my God. Okay. In these international sports tournaments, okay, if you have the USA involved, if you have Israel involved, okay, Russia is never involved these days. If you have one of these countries involved, yeah, okay, you might get a political situation along the way. Well, here we go. USA Venezuela final. Oh my God. When is this game? This game is Friday?
I think so.
Or it might be Thursday. Wait, I'm looking at it here. Wow, it says Tuesday. Is that
tomorrow?
True? It's tonight? Wow. Well, for me tonight. Yeah, for you.
For you tonight. Yeah.
Wow. Damn, that went quick. Okay. All right. Venezuela versus USA. I don't know.
Well,
do you have any?
Well, no, it's so when you say Tuesday, is it Tuesday there? Because that would be
Tuesday, 8 p.m. Tuesday, 8 p.m.
8 p.m. Eastern time.
8 p.m. Eastern. Yeah.
So that's 4 a.m. for you, right? Or 3 or 4 a.m.
Well, now it's friggin' 1.
Oh, right.
Because of this stupid daylight savings, which nobody likes, by the way. This stupid daylight savings time.
Yeah.
So, 5 hours. But I'll just catch it on replay.
Now, one thing I noticed about the little bit of the games I've watched, or even the highlights I've watched, is the fans are eating this up. It is insane.
Of course.
It is insane.
Yeah. USA, Canada is just like, nah, whatever. I mean, I was talking to my dad about this just yesterday. He's a longtime Boston Red Sox fan. And I was talking to him about this tournament day, and it was really great and stuff. And he's like, oh, those games don't matter. I was like, this is awesome stuff, man. I mean, come on. To Japan, it matters. You know? I mean, they stop. It's like the NHL for the Olympics. They stop the leagues there. The Nippon League, the KBO League. They stop play for this thing. Have the 2-week break or the 3-week break or whatever. I mean, they take it seriously. And countries like Dominican Republic, Venezuela, Cuba especially, they're playing for international pride here. So let's see. I was looking for the odds on this last game here. I'm sure the USA is a big favorite, but I would not be surprised to see Venezuela take it. I would not. I mean, that is a rolling team. The game against Japan was amazing. Venezuela leads off the game with a home run. Of course, for Japan, Otani's leading off. He hits a home run on the bottom of the first. Yeah, it's amazing stuff. Amazing stuff. Let's see. So we've got. Oh, okay. These are old odds. Not sure of the odds, but maybe I will find it before the end of the show for you here. Oh wow, San Antonio is destroying the Clippers here. All right.
So before we move on to some NFL talk, I gotta ask you, who are you taking to win this thing?
Okay. Well, the USA is going to be the big favorites, but I don't know. The scintillating pick, the interesting pick is Venezuela. Seriously, I mean, they could do it. Why not? Why not? You talk about the parity in the North American leagues. You're seeing this worldwide as well. I mean, a couple of World Cups ago, Croatia was in the finals. Now Croatia has an excellent football team, but nobody expected that. That's the equivalent of Tampa Bay being in the Super Bowl. Back in the day. It's just what this isn't supposed to happen. So why not? Why not? Let's go with Venezuela. New champion. First time champion. Venezuela.
I'm still a little butthurt from the Olympics, so I'm gonna go against the US.
Yeah. Take Venezuela. Take Venezuela.
Right.
It will be fun to see Aaron Judge strike out in a clutch situation again. Twice now he's struck out late in the game for Team USA. Hitting home runs early, striking out late. Mr. April, right? Mr. May.
Yeah.
So you got to love the Schadenfreude there. Hopefully this happens in the ninth inning for Venezuela. Can't get him on 3 pitches swinging. Okay, so World Baseball Classic. Go wherever you like.
Go Venezuela.
Yay. Okay. We almost had the all Spanish speaking finals.
Yeah.
Almost had Dominican Republic.
Oh, that would have been insane, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that would have been cool. The fans would have been great for that. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, let's do it. Let's talk the elephant in the room.
Yeah, speaking of insane, let's get this. I know it's late news by now, and everyone's sick of hearing about it and talking about it. But Maxx Crosby gets traded twice in a span of 2 days.
Yeah.
Traded, then not traded.
Yeah. Well, I will say this. This would be no surprise to Patriots fans. Okay. The Ravens basically backed out of the deal. I mean, you might call it cheating. I would like to see I'd like to see Maxx Crosby and his agent try to sue Baltimore for saying how exactly did I fail this physical? Like, what did I fail? Right? Because the thing is, this hurts him on the open market. Right? Even if the Cowboys, for example, who are rumored to be trying to trade for Crosby before the Ravens seem to snatch him up. I mean, you're the Cowboys now. Even if you think the medical report, the failure is bullshit, you can still point to it and say, well, he's not worth 2 first-round picks.
Right.
I mean, it was really some flim-flammery by the Ravens, but hey, there's nothing. The definition of failure for a medical exam in the NFL is wide open. It's subjective. Right? Well, we don't like these results. Cut. End of deal. So
are you saying? Are you saying that you don't believe it was the physical? You believe that they took him on and then dumped him just for what purpose? Do you think?
Trey Hendrickson.
Yeah, because they signed Trey Hendrickson right after.
Yeah, that was the thing. Trey Hendrickson was out on the free agent market for 3 days, 4 days. and nobody was picking him up.
So why wouldn't they
And the
just pick
Ravens-
him up instead to start with?
Well, they were afraid of a high price tag.
Ah,
Right? They were afraid there was going to be a bidding war for Hendrickson because, like Crosby, Hendrickson is also coming off an injury, right? And Hendrickson is a badass. I mean, he's an awesome edge rusher, but Maxx Crosby, right? So they were thinking, all right, let's see if we're going to have to pay Trey. Well, they ended up paying Trey Hendrickson. I have it here, 4 years, 112. So maybe they were afraid they were going to have to pay him, 2 years, 120 or something like that, right? Something. They were afraid they were going to get into a bidding war and, not have him. Plus, there was smoke from the Cowboys that they were going to try and trade for Crosby. They were going to try to trade for Crosby because, they're playing Madden over there. Hey, let's trade. Trades are fun. Let's make a trade. Trade our franchise defensive player and get a different franchise defensive player. I mean, what? So, but anyway, this is just the Ravens backing out. Look, they have Trey Hendrickson and they have their picks.
It was obvious to me when they said it was because of the failed physical, because we're still how many months out from the season? Are they actually taking physical results now that are going to make an impact on the beginning of the season?
Well, yeah, because Crosby is coming off the injury. Right, he's coming off the injury, so
I know, but you got to think he's gonna be ready come season time, right?
Well, yeah, but see, again, those medical tests are subjective, right? They could have said that. They could have said that.
6-7 months.
Yeah, he's still recovering, but he'll be ready in time for the season. Okay, I approve the trade.
Yeah,
right? But they just brought in somebody to reject the trade, more than likely. Right? That's it. They backed off. They said, "What are we doing? Giving the Raiders a good deal?" My original impulse was because, of course, the other story going around the Raiders is this stuff with Alex Guerrero, right? Alex Guerrero, who is Tom Brady's, physical trainer, I guess, when he was playing, has become Brady's proxy in the Raiders camp. So in other words, he's walking around acting like Brady and going, "Oh yeah, you're going to be traded. You're going to do this." And so my first impulse when I heard about this is, so here he is. Here's Crosby failing a physical. He's got this physical trainer who thinks he owns the team. Wait, what's going on here? Somebody's not doing their job, right? But nah. It was just the Ravens saying, "We don't want this deal."
Leave it to the Raiders to have a sideshow going on.
Of course. I was going to start this with what the hell is going on in Las Vegas, dude? What the hell is going on with the Raiders?
The Vegas show.
The slogan, exactly. The slogan, what happens here stays here in Las Vegas. That doesn't work for a football team. You can't do that. As an actual professional sports franchise, what goes here, what happens here stays here. No, not really. Crosby is staying there, though, I guess. But the word is that
I hope so.
He'll be moved. The word is he'll be moved.
I hope so. As a Raider fan, I hope he stays. But I found the funny part of all this was Crosby gets traded, and he's like, goodbye. He goes on his podcast. He's saying his goodbyes, and he's can't wait to get started in Baltimore, a new chapter. And the Raiders were bad mouthing him and all that. And then all of a sudden, oops, trade off. And then he's like, I can't wait to run it back. Let's go, Las Vegas.
I'm ready to play. I'm ready to play. But you have to do that. You have to. It is playing the game.
I know.
The game. He'll be on Dallas. He'll be on, I don't know, Green Bay.
So you think he'll still be moved? You think he'll still be moved? Okay.
Yeah. They might trade him on draft day. They'll string Jerry along, trade him on draft day. I mean, how many picks do the Raiders have? 40 in this draft? They got about 6 picks per round in this draft? Well, sure, let's take some more. If they land this, you better be like, I don't know, practicing voodoo on your GM. Because if they can nail this draft and the next one, they might have a killer team. This is a nice, young, fresh team. They'll be out there looking like the Packers a few years ago. Just all young guys, all, studs, So you better pray that the Raiders have some good drafts because they got a lot of picks this next couple of years.
A lot of picks.
And I think they're going to have another first round pick.
They got a lot of picks and a lot of money.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, but that's
over $140 million, I believe, in cap space.
And it's wild that nobody wants to play there. They must have. I mean, they've got to have a very bad reputation because it's Las Vegas. Come on, man. Come on. There's enough professional football players that want to play in Las Vegas for sure. They just don't want to play for this organization. Sorry to say. Apparently. But that's what it seems like. Now, who knows? Maybe he'll turn things around with that number 1 overall pick. But
you never know.
You never know. I will do this. Let's go in because you said you wanted to talk about some of these NFL signings. Well, already there's 2 divisions that I don't know about that have been thrown into just like insanity because of these, recent signings. For example, let's talk about the NFC North. Okay, so here's Kyler Murray, right, signing with the Vikings to no one's real surprise.
No.
I mean, after the Jets, oh my God. After the Jets signed out of the Kyler Murray sweepstakes, it was pretty obvious where he was going. So the Vikings signed Kyler Murray, but what I find interesting is this. Here are the Detroit Lions, who a couple of years ago were everybody's darling. They're playing in the NFC Championship game, right? They were ahead in the first half of that game. And now they're looking very reasonably at 4th place in their own division. The Bears, this is a defending Final Four team. The Packers, you figure they're going to be good. We've been waiting for them for a few years to really turn into something special. And now you've got the Vikings, who oftentimes last year appeared to be 1 quarterback short of a contending team. So I think Murray just flips the equation here in the North. Now, this is assuming that he's actually going to play some ball. I mean, he was looking good until he got injured in September, October last year. He played 5 games. He was looking pretty good, but, and of course, there's the Arizona bit of this equation. You never can tell. If you're playing for the Cardinals, you never can tell how really good you are, right? These days. So again, it's another snake-bitten team like your own team. Maybe they shouldn't put NFL teams in the desert. Maybe that's what's killing these teams. But in any case, so for me, the NFC North is going to be heck of a dogfight, potentially. But I like this signing for the Vikings.
What are your thoughts on now? You talked about the Jets passing up. Now, what do you think of the deal that went down today and them thinking, is Geno Smith going to be a number 1 quarterback in the NFL? I mean, I guess anybody could for the Jets.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, the Jets, are they giving up? I mean, wow. Yeah, I mean, do you realize that since Joe Namath, they've been in the AFC Championship game twice? That's it? That's as far as they've gone.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's as far as they've gone. And it was in back-to-back years when Rex Ryan was the coach of that team. Or was it Buddy Ryan? I don't know. It's one of the Ryans. I think it was Rex. When Rex was head coach of the team. And for them in those days, the Super Bowl is beating the Patriots. Right? I mean, this is the best the Jets have done, since the 70s, for God's sake. And now it feels like they're just giving up. I mean, look, okay, he's a viable starting quarterback. I mean, not everybody's a franchise quarterback. Not everybody's an all-star quarterback, right? But you want to have at least, not J.J. McCarthy. You want to at least have a starting quarterback. I mean, it was hilarious because I was listening to the Bo Bunny Jones podcast. Unfortunately, not a podcast of the Shotgun Sports Network. Scout, you got to sign this guy, Bo Bunny Jones. He's pretty good. So I was listening to the Bo Bunny Jones podcast, and you'll appreciate this because I was flipping out. And he was reading a list of the Jets quarterbacks, of the past like 20 years or whatever. And he's going through, and he's naming these guys that you've barely heard of. And then he says, Chris Streveler. And then he says, I don't even know who that is. And I mean, this guy knows everybody in football. And so I just thought that was hilarious because, yeah, it's true. Chris Streveler, the backup quarterback for the Grey Cup winning Winnipeg Blue Bombers, actually started a game for the New York Jets. I mean, they are scraping. This team is scraping. And, it's just, I don't know. They're giving up. They're giving up.
So now, put yourself in Justin Fields' place now. He's traded to Kansas City, where he's likely not going to play a game unless.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine with him. No,
he's basically just going to collect a paycheck now every week.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but again, come on now. You're a CFL guy, all right? So we can't quite take that attitude. We've got to assume that the second string quarterback is going to start like 3 or 4 games on your average team. Mahomes finished the season injured. Okay, I believe that's the first time that's ever happened to him. So
he seems to get injured the last few seasons now, although he's played through it.
Yes, except this is the problem with running quarterbacks, right? They're just like runners. Yeah. Eventually, they slow down, and this is something that Josh Allen is going to have to reckon with, and this is something that Lamar Jackson is reckoning with right now. Yes, you can do it for a while, but you're going to take punishment, and you're just going to get slower. You're just going to get a step slower. Everybody does, right? Even Saquon Barkley looked a step slower this year, right? And so that's the thing. So soon, Mahomes is going to have to adapt his game. But I bet he can. He could become, not exactly a pure pocket passer, but he'll start running less. I mean, geez, they just signed the Super Bowl MVP, right? To run the ball for them, Walker, right? Yeah. From Seattle. I mean, geez, what a sign.
Chiefs might be scary.
Well, at least on offense. This team's going to score a lot of points. Eric Bieniemy, this might have been the coach off signing of this season. Eric Bieniemy is back as the OC. That's when Kansas City was winning Super Bowls. when Bieniemy was the coordinator there, and he's back. And now they're loaded for bear on offense. I mean, they traded McDuffie. They lost like one of their edge rushers in free agency as well. So that's the thing. They're just going to be the Cowboys. They're just going to try and outscore you every week. There's just and Kansas City, they probably will. Travis Kelce is probably going to come back.
He didn't officially quit, did he? He didn't retire.
Of course not. No, of course not.
He'll be back.
Yeah, he's doing the Brett Favre thing. Will he or won't he? So but now it's the wisdom is leaning towards he's going to come back probably in the second half of the season, right? I wanted to ask you the other division that I'm really wondering about is this NFC West, right? I mean, I of course, as a Rams guy, I like the McDuffie signing. The Seahawks lose Walker, and the 49ers picked up Mike Evans. Like, that offense needs another weapon.
And then and then last week, of course, we talked about the huge Rams deal.
Yeah, McDuffie, right? I love that.
Right.
And so again, like last year, this team had what, 3 of the final 4 in the NFC division? 3 of the final 4? I mean,
and they're going to again.
yeah, they're very well
Well,
could.
maybe not the Niners. Maybe not the Niners.
I don't know. See, I don't think you can ever count the Niners out. Again, they have so much on offense. They have so much on offense this year as well. So, and plus, I was thinking about this directly after the season. This is how sick I am. From a certain perspective, because they were number 1, Seattle might be getting an easier draw. Right? With that number 1 schedule. Because what are they going to get? As extra games, they get the Eagles, who might be worse, and the Bears, who should be worse. Right? You're going to expect some regression from the Bears at least. Right? Meanwhile, the Rams in number 2 get like what? Dallas, who could be good, and the Packers, who we think are going to be better, right? So it's almost like getting that number 1 schedule helps Seattle, but I don't expect Seattle to repeat. I don't expect them to repeat number 1 seed. I don't expect them to repeat winning this division again. But I think the Mike Evans is a scintillating ad. You know, it's an interesting addition to the team, to the offense, because this is a nice offense. The other one I wanted to ask you about is because the press hasn't been awesome on this. 2-3 years ago, it would have been a big deal. The Bills got Bradley Chubb. This is not very highly regarded because Chubb is coming off the injury and he wasn't considered one of the top edge rushers. But I like this ad. I like it. Why not? It's a swing. I do worry that the Bills are trying to put together, you know, I feel like they might be signing too many big names. You know, I don't like that in football. That always reeks of desperation. You know, let's sign all these old guys, you know, these injured guys or whatever. But so I thought that was an interesting signing.
Yeah, I mean, I see the Bills coming out on top of that division without a problem. Patriots might challenge, but I don't know. I think the great season the Patriots had last season was a fluke.
Oh no, you've got to accept you've got to expect regression. There will be regression. Now they went out and signed Romeo Doubs, right? So that's not a bad signing.
Yeah,
at receiver as well. However, they really need to be focusing on the line. They really, really do. I mean, Vrabel's got to know this. I mean, when he was a player, he would have destroyed this line. He's got to understand that they need to do something about the line. I think the Patriots are still a playoff team.
But
after that,
are the Dolphins going to improve this season without Tua?
Well, it's not about Tua, but geez, interesting situation there in Atlanta. I mean, I thought they had a rookie quarterback. I thought they had a veteran quarterback. Now they're going to throw in Tua into this as well. I mean, it's a bit of a flyer. It's a bit of a flyer. I mean, maybe they're bringing him on to, like, you know, help out Penix. You know, I mean, they're similar players, I guess, but Penix seems to be more physically gifted, you know, and he's a righty. So I don't know, maybe there's something there, but I don't know. You know, again, this is the modern NFL. You've got to have a number 2, right? You've got to have a guy to, you know, you've got to have a guy to come into the game if you need be, you know. So yeah, I don't think Tua is not an earth shaker. Now, who do the Dolphins have at quarterback right now? Who is their guy?
Who did they sign?
Yeah, they signed somebody. Fields? No.
Who did they sign? Now I can't remember.
So yeah, I'm drawing a blank myself. Here, let's take a look here. Let's
It's
ask
gonna
our
bug
fans.
me, so I better find out.
Who do they have now? They're gonna go with. Who are they going with? Quinn Ewers? Is Quinn Ewers?
No, Willis from Tampa.
Oh, that's right, Malik Willis. Yeah.
Malik Willis from.
Now that's an interesting move right there. I feel like we don't really know how good Malik Willis is. So that's an interesting move. Sure, Miami could improve. I'm trying to think who they get on the schedule this year, like what divisions they need to be playing, because it's not going to be as easy as last year. And that was part of, we heard this all the whole second half of the season. Patriots have an easy schedule. They've also got good coaching and decent roster. So at least in most positions. So the Patriots aren't going to go away. The Dolphins, I guess, could compete. It's very early on, but I don't know what to expect from the NFC North, the AFC North, or the AFC South for that matter. And the AFC West, though, I mean, even from this perspective, this far out, it's going to be a beast.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, we're expecting Denver to compete. Right? They were Final Four. We're expecting Denver to compete. Kansas City should rebound. Again, their offense is going to score a lot of points this year, I think. And, the Chargers. We've been waiting for them to be a force for a while, too. So, I don't know. Dolphins in the playoffs this far out? If you want to take a flyer, I'm sure the odds are good. If you want to take a flyer on that, go for it.
Does it surprise you that Aaron Rodgers has not been signed? And also, why is the name escaping me? Who's the other older quarterback that played for Atlanta?
Oh God. Yeah. I know who you're talking about. Let's see. Okay, so
Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, Cousins. Yeah, you like that.
Does it surprise you that those two aren't signed yet?
Nah, because we're still 6 months out. We still have the draft.
I guess.
We still have the draft, right? Now, Rodgers, I wouldn't be surprised if he's just ignored. The truth is, most people don't know this, but after Peyton Manning won the Super Bowl with Denver, his contract ended, but he was a free agent. He was ready to sign, but it's just nobody signed him. Because it's just like, okay, dude, it's over. And they might be saying this for Aaron Rodgers. Who else hasn't signed yet? Joe Flacco.
Oh,
the Freddy Krueger of the NBA, right? The Terminator of the NFL. You can't kill this guy, right? So, there's plenty of time, but I don't think Rodgers is going to play. I think Rodgers is
Phillip Rivers signed.
He's going to be the player coach, as I understand it, for probably either Arizona or Las Vegas by the end of the year. Knowing the way these two teams are playing. So, yeah, I'm not surprised about that. Cousins, I think he'll probably be one of these, like Flacco last year. I can see him being signed in like week 5. By,
I really thought he'd go back to Minnesota.
Oh God. With the quarterback churn that they have, they don't want another guy that they're going to sign for a year. They took a big swing with McCartney and whiffed, and everybody's excoriating them because their quarterback just, played in the Super Bowl. Their ex-quarterback just played in the Super Bowl, so they don't want to mess around anymore.
Maybe it comes from the CFL.
Kirk Cousins in the CFL. Wow.
Or Aaron Rodgers. Could you imagine?
Oh God, Aaron Rodgers.
just
He's
for
too big.
publicity.
He's too buy the team. Buy the Alouettes, and then he's going to play for them. He's going to be the owner player.
Yeah.
Not even Brady could do that. So yeah, that's what he's going to go for. No.
Listen, we could probably talk NFL all day, but I understand you have a little bit of NBA news.
Wow. I mean, again, it's old news.
It's old news. It's old news, but it's exciting.
Speaking of old news, and I've been saying this, I've said this on the show a couple of times. The whole tanking issue is the Jeffrey Epstein files of the NBA this season. I mean, it's coloring everything, this tanking controversy, including last week we had the Bam Adebayo 83-point game. Now, a couple of things here. Really weird. I mean, again, everybody was shocked by this. The man's previous high had been 41 points. Now, come on. He's a stud. He's Team USA. Okay. Yeah. He's an awesome player, but he's just not the 83-point player. I mean, okay. What is it? Doncic had 73 for the Mavericks in one game. That you believe. Kobe, of course, going for 81 against the Raptors when he did. You believe that. They have that kind of game. Bam does not. Bam has taken 22 3-pointers in this game. I mean, the stat that everybody was giving out was he had 41 points in the first half. That's the most he's ever scored in a game. 41. Wow. Yeah. And then he goes and doubles it here. So, and of course, since this is the NBA in 2026, we have to talk about tanking. And that was the thing. There was a lot of people that are like, oh, this is no big deal because the Wizards are tanking. Right? The Wizards aren't trying. And it's true. They were throwing nothing at him. They were not trying to stop him, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And the fourth quarter turned into this thing where they're triple teaming him. They're quadruple teaming him at one point. Not to win the game, just to not be humiliated historically.
Yeah.
Right. And the thing is, the insane thing about this is not a record. There's no record here. The record is 100 points. There's no, what is this? The post-merger points in a single game record? There's no such thing. It's not even so people are flipping on about this. I mean, I think that people are correct to excoriate, the Wizards, because again, it's just another example of degenerating the quality of this game. I mean, when Kobe went for 81, he had to put in the effort, right? The Raptors were trying to win that game. The Lakers weren't very good that year. And in that game, they had nobody. They had Kobe, and that was it. I mean, there was a reason for him to do that. Now, okay, Chamberlain's 100 was a freak show, right? That was just let's see if he can do this against a bad team. David Robinson scored 72 in the final game of the season one year to deny Shaq the scoring title. Right? They figured, okay, we're going to get, because the Magic, this was his second season, I think, and he's going for the scoring title for Orlando. And they both had one game on the final night. San Antonio played first, so they were just feeding Robinson the ball the whole game. He went for 72, right? That was the most since, I think, George Gervin had 71 or something like that. But again, he was putting in the effort. He was trying. This was not a tanking situation. They had to win this game. Same thing with the Lakers game. So, so it's kind of a bummer. People say, oh, yeah, he went to the line 36 times, which is ridiculous. I mean, Allen Iverson, who played like a halfback, he never went to the line 36 times in his whole career. And this dude was trying to draw the foul on every possession. he's 36 free throw shots. Again, like I said, he took 22 threes. But the interesting thing is, the nice thing is that it really made it feel possible that somebody could go for 100. That somebody could get 100. Somebody like Luka, somebody like even SGA, who, by the way, is the other thing I wanted to point out. Now, again, this is not really. So there was another record broken this past week. This was Shai Gilgeous-Alexander went for 20 points. I think he ultimately went for 30 points against the Celtics, which gave him the longest ever streak scoring 20 points in a row. Now I'll share this screen for you because somebody at ESPN.com. Hold on, I want to get the name. Yeah, a guy at ESPN called Zach Cram or Zach Crom, maybe. Quite a name here. Wrote this piece on ESPN. Let's see if I can get rid of this pull down menu. All right. We'll get rid of this pull down menu. He was just breaking down this streak. Okay, so 127 straight games, 20 points or more. Okay, by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Okay, so one nice chart here. In the modern era, here are the closest streaks, right, to this level. Now, as you can see, number 2 is Kevin Durant with 72, Kobe with the 63. Okay, so they basically doubled Kobe, right, with this run of 20 games. The other interesting thing, and of course, you look at this and you say, oh, yeah, sure, of course, if you look back, it's the old guys down here, and here it is, the more recent guys. There's a lot more threes being taken, metrics, which we're going to talk about in a little while. But take a look at this. This is another chart. This is his point distribution, right? These are the places from which he is taking shots on the floor. Now, I would say that there's probably no other player in the NBA whose distribution is this even.
That's pretty even. That's pretty
yes,
good.
This is pretty fantastic. The dude can score from anywhere, right? He can create a shot from anywhere. He's not living outside the three-point line like a James Harden, like Anthony Edwards. And he's not living underneath the hoop, right? He can't back you down like Kevin Durant, right? And so, this is just a fantastic show of just what a fantastic player Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has been for the Thunder. While everybody is, hyped up about, the San Antonio Spurs versus the Oklahoma City Thunder, actually, this is what people should be concentrating on. I'm just trying to can you take down the share screen? Yeah, you already have. People need to start paying attention to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I've never seen an NBA champion which is so disbelieved in, going forward, despite the fact that the Thunder look even better than they did last year at this point, evidenced by SGA just dominating the game. So, folks, if we're going to focus on the NBA, we're coming into the playoffs pretty soon here. So please, let's stop talking about tanking. Let's accentuate the positive. Pretty soon we'll have no choice because the playoffs will begin. So
that's right.
Looking forward to these playoffs. Congratulations to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Luka. I want 90 points in a game for the Lakers at some point. Come on now. Let's put up those points.
You heard him, Luka. Don't disappoint. I'm sure he listens. I'm sure he watches our show.
You can do it. You can do it, buddy.
Anything else you want to touch on, or do you want to head to a Royal Retros ad?
Yeah, let's talk about the Royal Retros. Can you fire up the Can you fire up the website for those watching this?
Let me do that.
Fire up the website
I
because,
should have this ready every time, but I never
yeah,
do.
my descriptors are awesome, I'm sure, but you can take a look at the pictures as well. But let's talk about RoyalRetros.com. RoyalRetros.com has got to be one of the leaders online in retro sports memorabilia. They've got hundreds of ball caps, jerseys, t-shirts, long sleeve shirts, hoodies, jackets, and much more, as they say. Royal Retros has the gear and the paraphernalia representing dozens of teams from some defunct and some still active leagues, like the USFL, the original Arena Football Leagues. You have the World Football League. You have stuff from the XFL, from Football Canada. You've got stuff from pro hockey leagues, including the WHA, Allez les Nordiques. You've got the ABA basketball gear. And for me, really the best selling point is that area devoted to baseball. Defunct teams like from the major leagues, like the St. Louis Browns, the Seattle Pilots, but also those old classic Negro League teams, Pacific Coast League teams, some minor league teams, and others, all done up in the original style, new styles, and imaginary styles. Just fantastic work there at Royal Retros. Best of all, you can get 10% off when you use the promo code SFTH. That's shots from the hip at checkout. RoyalRetros.com, promo code SFTH for 10% off. And go nuts. Lots of amazing stuff there.
Go nuts. I've never heard of that team.
Go nuts, yeah. Oh, there's got to be one. Oh, I will find you one. I seem to recall that there was one.
Challenge accepted. I also wanted to mention that we also have a new sponsor. The Rampage Coffee Company has partnered with us to keep all of our hipsters caffeinated. They don't just do coffee. They do barbecue rubs. They have full line of merch like hats, mugs, t-shirts, stickers, etc. And if you head over to rampagecoffee.com or the link in the video description and use code HIP10, you'll get 10% off your order. Great new sponsor, great coffee. I have been meaning to order some, but I haven't yet. I'll be honest, guys.
You should have had some. Didn't you spend all night at the hospital? You could have used some.
I could have definitely used that over the weekend, waiting for a grandson to be born.
Okay, so I got it because I knew I had seen this somewhere before.
Oh boy, here we go.
Okay, the South Georgia Peanuts.
Oh,
the South Georgia Peanuts. They don't exist anymore, but I knew that I had seen this. I play a lot of baseball sim games. So the South Georgia Peanuts, they were based in Albany, Georgia. Yeah, Albany, Georgia. I'm not sure who they were affiliated with. They no longer exist. I don't even know if the Wikipedia page still exists.
Wow.
I knew I had seen that somewhere. So I'm glad to be vindicated on that one. Let's see. They were
Go Nuts.
Yeah, I guess they were just an independent team. Yeah, go nuts. D's nuts. Go D's nuts. All right.
Let's do some triple D's.
Yeah. All right. So discuss, debate, delete. Explain the rules of the game, please.
Discuss, debate, defer. So I have every week we choose 3 topics for the other person to either discuss, debate, or defer to another time, although we haven't seemed to be bringing those topics back up. But anyways, I have chosen 3 topics this week for Mr. Oz Davis, and they are as follows. Should the NFL ban the tush push? I know, huge topics we cover here, big things. Should college athletes be paid employees? And are analytics and sports betting ruining sports? Mr. Davis, discuss, debate, and defer.
Okay, well, I'm going to defer on the college athletes question. We discussed this a little bit last week. This is a bigger question. Maybe someday we can get a guest on to talk about this. But
Yeah, that'd be good.
yeah, this is a bigger question. I did not see anything on my president's so-called executive order coming out regarding college sports. So I don't know if that's forthcoming this week, maybe, but I haven't seen anything on that. So we'll talk about that one later.
Okay.
Okay. I don't know if you have an agenda on the analytics and sports betting question. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to debate the tush push.
Okay.
Right? Because I can argue either side. So go ahead.
As could I somewhat.
Okay.
Somewhat.
What do you think? What do you think? Should it be banned? Should it be banned? Yes or no?
I do not think it should be banned. I
do not think it should be banned. Okay.
I do not think it should be banned because it's a play that any team essentially can run. Okay. The only ones arguing against it are teams that it has been effective against,
right?
And who can't execute it themselves. Maybe because they have a weak O-line or a weak quarterback. I don't know, but it's one of those things where anybody can do it. Teams just don't do it, and then they complain about it. I don't understand it. I don't understand what makes it so controversial, I guess, to say, if that's the word I'm looking for. I'm not sure, but what are your thoughts?
Okay, well, here's one of the arguments against it. All right. Okay. It's not a football play.
That's very true.
This is not the spirit of the game, right? This is not rugby. Okay. There's not a scrum here. You shouldn't be allowed to do this. Right. That's the argument against it. Also, there's a good argument to be made that maybe you shouldn't be doing this to your quarterback. Like, maybe you shouldn't be trashing him so much. You gotta think that quarterbacks who actually run this play are against it. I mean, this is not what a quarterback is supposed to be doing. Now, if you want to wildcat it, right, maybe this would be an alternative. You go the wildcat, you just throw in the fullback there. Right, you throw in the tight end, right, to take the snap, and then you tush push him. Because the thing is, like, you would never do this with Patrick Mahomes. You wouldn't, right? That just wouldn't. You wouldn't want to subject him to that abuse, right? Now the Eagles have Jalen Hurts, who is not a superstar quarterback. I think everybody agrees on that until the playoffs.
Right, everybody except Eagles fans.
Yeah, kind of like Eli Manning, right? This guy turns into, a vampire during the playoffs and just kicks everybody's butts, But besides from that, he's not a superstar quarterback. Might not even be considered a franchise quarterback, right? So they can afford to take that risk. So this would be another argument against that. It's just like, run normally, be Lamar Jackson, be Josh Allen, So, you can see either side of this argument.
So do we typically not see quarterbacks running into the pile at all? Is that at what point does that?
Okay. You remember back in the day when the Patriots had Brady, right? And they had that play on 4th and 1, right? You remember the Brady quarterback snake. This was thought to be an unstoppable play, right? And it was all about just the offensive line getting super, super, super low, right? And getting the leverage, and Brady doing the same thing, right? And there were people, the Ravens, right, who were complaining about this play, like somehow this play should be illegal, right? It's not about it being an unstoppable play, because teams have stopped it this past season. Teams have stopped it. The Eagles did not have 100% success rate on this play, okay? But also my feeling is this, adapt. Right? I just name dropped the Wildcat. Do you remember when the Wildcat first really came back to the NFL? Do you remember this?
I'm not familiar with the Wildcat.
Yeah.
It sounds familiar, but I don't exactly know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
the Wildcat is just simply when the quarterback is not on the field, right?
Okay.
Typically, you have a halfback taking the snap, and you literally put 10 guys on the line. Right? That's a Wildcat. Okay. Now, sometimes you can do an option out of that or whatever, but you usually don't, right? Okay. Here was the situation. This was when, the Patriots were dominating the league and whatever. Okay. So there was a game against Miami. Miami had just brought on like a new head coach. They were totally depleted or whatever. And so they just said, okay, this game, we're just going to run this Wildcat, which is like a college offense, right? Sure enough, they destroyed the Patriots. It was like 34-10 or something like this. They just crushed them because the Patriots were not ready for this to happen. Okay. Sure enough, within 2 weeks, everybody had Wildcat plays in their playbook. And, they were having success. And then within about 5-6 weeks after that, the Wildcat was getting stomped all over the place. Again, the NFL, like no other league, all leagues are adaptive, but the NFL much more than the others. It's a copycat league, right? So the thing is, like, it's not like the tush push is unstoppable. Adapt. Now, it is an ugly play. You can make the argument that this is a rugby play. This is not a football play. But, the truth is, stop bitching and stop it. It's not impossible. You can say the same thing about Brady's, quarterback sneak. Stop it. It's not impossible. Can't be. Until it gets impossible, then there's no reason to outrule it. But I can't stand this making rules to protect weaknesses of the players. Just adapt. Like the infield shift. And the answer to analytics by the batters was to put three infielders on one side of the field, right? Hit it the other way. In the 40s, they tried to do this to Ted Williams. Ted Williams figured out how to hit to the opposite field. Come on now, adapt. So on one hand, I don't have much sympathy.
Now, back when I was playing baseball in high school, we actually used to bring our shortstop out as a fourth fielder sometimes.
Outfielder?
Yeah.
Sure.
So you would have four outfielders, but anyways, that's
yeah, like softball. Right, you get the short fielder in softball. Yeah, the rover. I like it. But see, they started doing that in Major League Baseball. Major League Baseball outlawed it. It's like, no, figure it out. Right? I'm not a big fan of taking rules out to help the players. Players have adapted before. Adapt. That's right. Adapt or die. Right. Survival of the fittest, So no, don't get rid of the tush push. All right, so let's do this other one then. Okay.
I knew you'd love talking about this one.
Okay. Are analytics and sports betting ruining sports? Okay. I'm going to say this first of all. Since the Black Sox, all right, I think it's hard for sports betting to ruin sports. Okay. Now, I say this despite knowing about the Mike Donaghy scandal. Referee in the NBA who was shown to be betting on games or giving insider information or whatever, maybe even influencing games, probably influencing games. Okay. So there are some cases, but since it has become legalized in most of the US, there's very little cause for sports betting to ruin sports. Now, there have been other scandals. Yeah, there was a guy in the NBA, and it was really a bizarre case. But the player, he was like trying to shave rebounds on a player prop for a friend of his or something like this. Something. Yeah, it was something weird like this. It had to do with a player prop. Okay. So you will, I don't think you will much more, but you do have these violations. But no, betting is not going to ruin sports. Okay. Corporate control of betting. Now that's another question, right? If these big betting houses become afraid that they're losing money, okay, they talk to one of these commissioners about throwing games, about changing rules, whatever. That I can see, but I don't know. I'm skeptical. I wouldn't be too worried about it because, look, the sports books are not stupid. They offer a lot of prop bets. They offer a lot of daily fantasy bullshit. Which again is a scam. It's a scam. It's a great way for the books to make money. Right? That's it. So I'm not too worried about sports betting killing sports. Now, as for analytics, I would say it depends. Does analytics ruin sports? Okay. I would like to ask first, though, however, you're a hockey guy. What has been the effects on analytics on hockey? What would you say?
I don't really notice analytics during the gameplay. I know they do post a lot of analytics and stats on the screen while you're watching, but I don't feel they come into gameplay at all. Like, I don't think coaches are using analytics during the game. They might be, I have no idea. But in games like baseball and stuff like that, I think analytics remove instinct and creativity from the equation and make games kind of almost more predictable or repetitive.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Right. No, analytics allow players and coaches in certain sports to master the game. Right, to achieve the optimum results without improvising. So yes, you can get a cookie cutter quality. However, this was my instinct on hockey that, like soccer, it's very hard to do analytics on these games, right? The games are so fluid. And yeah, they're scoring a lot more goals in hockey than they used to in the 70s, but it's not basketball. It's not soccer, but it's not basketball. Soccer has so few goals scored. Soccer has so few stats that the only analytics you can really do are trends.
Yeah.
Right. Same thing in hockey. I feel like it's just you have lines coming in and out every 5 minutes. I mean, and you may have a line that dominates the game up front, but doesn't score a goal. I mean, like, how do you do analytics on that? So I think for games that defy statistics and defy analysis, analytics can't touch the flavor of the game. Now, on the other extreme, you have baseball, which has been completely transformed by analytics. All you have to do is watch the World Baseball Classic, and you see, like, Korea, Japan, they're doing this crazy thing where they're holding out the bat and just trying to tap the ball. What is that? We used to do that in American baseball. Wait a minute. Oh yeah, the bunt.
The bunt.
Sacrifice, right? Which analytics tells you never to do. Analytics would prefer if you never stole a base, right? And analytics has taught us that the only hit that matters is a home run. I think it was in 2022 where the first time in Major League history that there were more home runs than doubles. Okay? This is analytics warping the game. Right? It has turned baseball into something different, at least on this highest level. Right? It's turned it into a home run derby. So analytics probably bad for baseball, but what are you going to do? Baseball is the most statistical game, really, ever. Really, the most statistical sport ever invented. It's so easy to make stats about. Cricket as well, but it's a similar game. But there's no game like baseball for stats. Now, the other game that you always think about when you talk about analytics is basketball, right? And about how somebody told Steve Kerr that, hey, 3 points is more than 2, right? And if you can shoot threes at a proportion, that will give you more points per shot attempt. And then Steve Kerr said, hey, when I was a player, I liked shooting threes, so let's do that. And the Warriors became a power, and everybody imitated the Warriors. Now, the thing about basketball is this. Basketball is an adaptive game. Like football, the pendulum goes back and forth like this on basketball. Those years when San Antonio was a dominant team, people were decrying the lack of offense, right? People were saying defenses are getting too good, right? But this happens. I've noticed this happen in my lifetime several times with both basketball and football. You have to adapt. Sometimes the offense is winning. Sometimes the offense has, creative plays, the wildcat or whatever. The defense isn't ready for it, but then it swings back, and now all of a sudden defenses are the thing, right? Jesus, you remember the Canadian Football League in the 90s. These games are like 58-54 and stuff like that. Yeah. That's gone now. The defense is adapted, and then you got by 2011, you had Solomon Elimimian having 110 tackles. I mean, he was the MOP of the league, It had swung back to the defense.
Yeah.
So the question about analytics, it depends on the sport. It can ruin your sport or it can really help it, depending on what sport it is. And again, like I say, I think for something like soccer, it's basically irrelevant. It's just, I don't believe it works. I don't believe it has any great effect on the game. Not like baseball. Baseball has been, completely just wiped out by analytics. It's changed the game. And in my opinion, not for the better. But maybe I'm a curmudgeon. But I don't like the home run derby. I don't.
No.
I don't like the way the game looks now. I don't. Again, this is the reason why I like the classic so much, is that you still have teams like playing ball the old-fashioned way. You have them stealing bases. You have them. Now, Ohtani still hits number 1 for Japan, which is, my God. Back in the day, that's like, what? 3. He's your number 3 hitter, period. Stop it. Yes, he steals bases. 3. Put him third. There was no question about that.
I never thought about that before, but yeah, that doesn't make sense.
Of course. I mean, everybody's saying he's Babe Ruth. Yeah, Babe Ruth hit third. Babe Ruth did not lead off. He stole bases. He didn't lead off,
Huh.
So, So analytics, good for some, bad for others.
Hey, and that is another great episode. Chock full of sports. We didn't even talk about hockey.
The wide world of sports. That's why I came on with that. The greatest sports TV show of all time. Wide world of sports. Do you remember that?
I remember that as a kid. Yes, ABC, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was the ABC Wide World of Sports.
ABC Wide World of Sports.
My God, that was the best. Although you hated it when you were a kid, because the kick of Wide World of Sports is they would show you like 3 different events. The show was about 2.5 hours long, and they would just cut between these events. And as a kid, it was a bummer when you would get you'd get the Harlem Globetrotters, and then you get something like cross-country skiing. Right? Something like, you're a kid, you're really into the Globetrotters. They're like, oh, here's Jean-Claude Keely. And as a kid, you're just like, give me the Globetrotters again. But yeah, greatest sports show ever. God, that's great.
Oddly enough, as Canadians, we used to have like 4 TV channels, and 3 of them were American.
Yeah.
So Wide World of Sports, Mutual of Omaha. I remember with that.
Oh,
I don't remember the old guy's name, but they used to.
Kirk Gowdy.
Oh.
Kurt Gowdy, right? I believe.
And they would show videos of animals and
Mutual of Omaha, Wild Kingdom.
That's what it was called. Yeah, Wild Kingdom.
The actual show was Wild Kingdom, but yeah, Mutual of Omaha was the insurance company who sponsored.
That's right.
And so often people think it's Mutual of Omaha as the show, but nope.
Oh man.
So, yeah, the Wide World of Sports. Actually, you can still check out some of this on YouTube. You kids who weren't around in the 80s and 70s, man, it's a trip. Check out the Wide World of Sports clips sometime. It's quite the phenomenon.
Some real sports highlights.
Yeah. And so basically that's what we're trying to do on this show is simulate the Wide World of Sports in podcast form. Low budget podcast form.
Oh, goodness. Maybe someday we'll have a big budget like maybe we'll call Mutual of Omaha and see if they'll sponsor us.
Yeah, right. Yeah, if they still exist. Yeah, let's see.
All right, sir. You have yourself a great night. And this is another episode number 10 in the books.
Bang.
Bang.